Hello, all you hardcores out there. How are you doing? Russ here from Porkys Corner, the biggest gob in sport. Can I just give a big shout out to Spartan Demolition? Thank you very much for sponsoring the pork. You know that. Right, let's get down to business, shall we? Bricktop, aka Frank Warren, aka Old Dinted, Billy Liar, Pinocchio, carbon copy of Edward John Hearn. That stabab's out of order. Them events they're putting on's out of order. And taking the game over to Saudi's out of order. Well, you've done StubHub, you're putting events on, and you're going out to Saudi. So, as far as I'm concerned, Bricktop, that ice was just broke. And I told you I'd be underneath it waiting. Now, when Eddie were taking liberties with boxing fans, you were crying, with your head in your hands, playing sympathy vote. Now look at you. You've got a stranglehold on heavyweight division. You don't care about boxing fans. That's why you're irate all the time. You're ready for an heart attack, Bricktop. You don't care for boxing fans. You care for lining your pockets. That's all you care for. But the funny thing is, seeing you running around groveling. You didn't that right, Bricktop? I know you're watching. Groveling with begging bowl like Oliver Twist. It's embarrassing. 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 Hey? Oh my God. You're having to throw Daniel Dubois in and for the unified heavyweight championship of the world. 5 belts. You're throwing him in there as a puncher's chance. Whatever happened to the Bricktop that built fighters up and didn't let them off the lead till they were ready? What happened to that guy? He's gone, that guy, ain't he now? Smash and grab, innit? It's a smash and grab guy now. We'll get what we can out of the buy and we'll put a bit of mileage on Usa. You don't care about the bar. Don't make out you do, Bricktop. You don't care about any of them around the bar either. We know your real feelings about Malcolm X, don't we? Daddy Don Charles's number 2. We know the real feelings on that one, don't we, Bricktop? So let's not get bent out of shape about that one. Because when Malcolm X were at Sky, you used to dig him out daily. Now look at you, eh? Be like Billy Joe going to that IFL live thing. Having to sit with Eddie Hills and them. Pop, pop, bang. All that lot there, all 21 of them, and none of them can stand each other. All fake mates. Oh my God. At least Bricktop don't put on events like that. So we'll leave that to Coogan and Eddie to split the readies at the end of the night, to divvy up. Eh? I don't know. What is going on? We've got Tyson Fury here fighting Ngannou. The guy's never had a boxing fight in his life. And old Dinted's here going on screaming about events. If it's not StubHub, it's events, innit? Now it's Saudi, innit? And what do you call him? His Highness or whatever. Why don't you crawl up that Saudi dude's ringer? You know the dude with thing on his head? What is it? Armband or some elastic band on his head, big towel all hanging down like a blanket. Crawl up that blanket, Bricktop. Hey? Embarrassing. Embarrassing. I thought you were boxing, Bricktop. You're not boxing. Do me a favour. Never been boxing for a few years now. I can't believe what I am seeing with my eyeballs. I thought you were boxing, Bricktop. You're just a grubby little man at the end of his tether, aren't you? You're at the end. It's the end road for you now, and it's about getting what you can out of job, isn't it? Embarrassing. It's embarrassing to see you snaffle about for a few quid and swallow. I've never known you swallow this much. You've done more swallowing lately. I thought your name was Katie Price. Oh my God. Frank, aka Warren, aka the Swallower. Jeez. Next, you'll be going up to Morecambe for one of Tyson's barbecues. Pop, pop, bang. Old Bricktop, eh? Bricktop, what are you doing with Anthony Yard? What? Ricky Summers? What have you done to Anthony Yard's career? What is Anthony Yard famous for? Rematching Lyndon Arthur. Is that it? Is that it? Anthony Yard's famous for rematching Lyndon Arthur and getting flogged by Kovaloff and Beta Beef. That is it. Yeah, fair enough. He took the fights. He got very well paid and got stuck in, but let's have it right. You'd be all on to giving 3 rounds at both fights, wouldn't you? But you're the guy that's supposed to get these guys ready. You don't let them off the leash until they're ready. Your words, Bricktop. Your words. Look at Anthony Yard. Fed to Kovalev and Beta Beef. Fed to him. Beefy Smith fed to Canelo, but fair do, he got paid, didn't he? But it's embarrassing now, isn't it? And now you're just taking a piss from the penthouse all over the fans with this Ngannou thing. We've had 2 years since Wilder and Fury fought for the 3rd time. 2 years. Since then, we've had Dylan White, fat as a pig, Michelin man, and we've had Derek Warchizora, who can't even talk properly, and he's 40 in a couple of weeks. That's what you've fed us, and now we've got a guy who's not had a boxing match. But you're supposed to be boxing, Bricktop, aren't you? You're supposed to be boxing, but you're not boxing, are you really? What are you? You're just a promoter, an events promoter now. I thought you were boxing. I thought you were like Phil Thompson, Liverpool defender. Snap him in half, it says Liverpool. I thought when we snap you in half, Bricktop, it said boxing, but you're not here. You're not. You've become an also-ran. That's all. You've become somebody chasing after Eddie Hills. Chasing him, copying him. You're copying what Eddie Hills did, and he's moved on. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing to see you groveling. Frank Groveler Warren. That's what you are at the moment, Bricktop. But if you're not, porkycorner@mail.com. Why don't you come on Porky's Corner? I've got 14 questions I want to ask you. Going back to 1980. 14 questions. Took me a week to put them together. 14. I'm going to stretch it to one more. 15. If you've got any knackers, Bricktop, and you keep telling people you've got plenty, but you haven't. I know you haven't. I know you haven't. I remember when Dennis grabbed you by hand and pulled you to him and shook you to death like a leaf. You tried some Freemason handshake on him, didn't you? It didn't work, did it? You're a bag of bones, Bricktop. That's all you are, mate. A bag of bones, pretending that you're Bricktop off Snatch. That's what you are, mate. But if you've got any knackers, porkycorner@mail.com. Or get your daft brother, the sniffhead in the Crombie at Chelsea Boots, get him to come on, porkycorner@mail.com. Or any of your offspring. They're welcome on here. All right, I'll ask you. And I'll ask them these 15 questions because you ain't got no knackers to come on here, have you? You're just like Eddie Hills. You want to control the media like you control Danny Flexen, who's frightened to death of you, by the way. You want to control them all like you do Coogan and all the rest of them. That's why Coogan hardly interviews you. Because you want stuff editing out. No, don't put this out. Don't put that out. Don't ask me this. Don't ask me that. You're just the same as Eddie Hills, but you make out you're not. You're a fraud just like the rest of them. If you're not a fraud, why didn't you pay Joe Calzaghe after he fought Hopkins? You never paid him, did you? You folded your company. That's one of the questions. I've got another 14 here for you, Bricktop. But I'll probably be waiting till I'm 70 odd like you, won't I? For you to come on here. Because you only want to answer questions like Eddie Hills from the little clique, your little band of brothers. Isn't that right, Bricktop? Yeah, that's right, isn't it? Old Dinted. You only want to go on social media and answer safe questions. Well, I've got some corkers here for you. Well, you ain't going to come nowhere near me. Just like Hills. So what I'm going to do it next couple of weeks, I'm going to put these questions out on Porky's Corner. And I'm going to ask the public to ask them to you. You won't like that, will you, Bricktop? You can send me as many emails from your lawyers as you want. Let me give you your address. porkycorner@mail.com. All right. You send me as many legal letters as you want. Because I've got 14 questions here for you. But you're not going to answer them. So they're going to have to go out into public domain, aren't they? And then we'll all get to know about the real Bricktop, won't we? Pop, pop, bang.